Well, good Monday morning, Bakersfield, surrounding communities, everybody watching online on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. I'm Chris Burdick. That is Sparky. Sparky, good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
Happy Monday, if there is one.
This damn computer is turning off and
Brother,
on and off and on.
I already kind of assumed that technical difficulties would be a thing this week for some reason. I don't know why. This weekend just made me feel that way. But it is WrestleMania week, so let them know what they're in for.
Well, we'll definitely get into some wrestling. Why even talk about anything else?
I mean, at this point.
We'll get into some Masters. We'll recap the Masters. The NBA playoffs is all set and ready to go. And we're going to talk some entertainment. Before we talk sports entertainment, with our guy Rick Bentley joining us at 7:30.
7:30, yes, sir.
And then we got Tyson, I believe, with the.
It should be Tyson's week.
What is it called? Oh, Make You Laugh Mondays with Tyson. Monday at the Firehouse. We'll hear about that. Plus, like I said, NBA playoffs are set. We'll talk some basketball with our boys. Snacks at 8:30, as we always do. And you can call or text in anytime throughout the show, 661-842-2000.
NBA play-in tournament starts tomorrow as the 7 and 8 seeds go up against each other. That would be the Magic and 76ers, and the Suns and Blazers will kick off tomorrow. The day after that, you'll get the 9 and 10 seeds going up against each other. And then we figure out who plays in that 8 seed the 17th, the day before the NBA playoffs begin. We'll see what happens with all of this as teams like the Warriors, the Heat, the Hornets, all of these guys try to make a name for themselves and sneak their way into the NBA playoffs to take on one of these top teams. When we get into this, I have a theory here, though, my friend, that I'm going to bounce off you, especially when it comes to the Magic and the 76ers. Do either of those teams really want to win that game? Because both of those teams are looking at the Boston Celtics right now saying, oh, God, why the hell would we want to go up against them in the first round? But we'll get into that at some point. And since it is WrestleMania week, I was thinking about this, Sparky. We talk so much about these wrestlers. We talk about them and all of what they do right now currently. But a lot of people that listen to us probably have no idea where these people came from, where they started, how their careers got off the ground. So I'm going to do my best every single day this week to break down some of these people that you're going to see this weekend and what their careers have looked like thus far. If I can get around to it today, I know we are guest-filled today, but we'll get to it as quickly as we can. I'm going to break down some of the greatest wrestlers that you'll see on Saturday and Sunday, starting with Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan, and Stephanie Vaquer. We're going to talk about all four of those wrestlers at some point, break down where their career started, how they got to where they are today, and honestly, how all four of them are really starting to look, or really already have looked, like some of the most, successful wrestlers in the WWE. So we'll talk about all of that as WrestleMania gets started. But we might as well run down what happened over the weekend first, as the Masters turned.
Rory!
The Masters went from what should have been a massive runaway to a absolute collapse on Saturday. Kind of saw it coming, I won't lie to you. But realistically, Sunday was more master from Rory as he went and won his second gold jacket in 2 years, joining both Sparky's Papa Jack, Mr. Nick Faldo, and Tiger as the one of the only 4 men to ever do so. And it was in convincing fashion. I won't lie. Again, as a casual golf fan as I am, I enjoy tournaments like this. I enjoy situations like this where anything can happen. I'm not going to lie, the first 2 days, I was expecting this to be a runaway. It was going to be a boring weekend in the Masters. Shoot, Rory looked like he was about to shoot 21 under for all we knew. But day 3 was really rough for him. Not so rough for everybody else, as we got a historically low scoring average from every other golfer, including guys like Cameron Young and Scotty Scheffler, who jumped their way all the way up the ranks. Cameron even tying Rory going into day 4. It looked very entertaining. It was probably some of the most entertaining golf in a day 4 I've seen in quite some time. Guys like Justin Rose had a shot again, but I don't know what it is about the Masters and Justin, but Justin fell apart at the end there. He had a shot at an eagle, I believe, on the 15th, messed that up. That would have tied him for the lead instead of just falling short about 2-3 strokes. But I don't know how much of this you got to watch, my friend. Was there any part of it that really had you scratching your head? Because there were a couple shots that I looked at it and said, okay, I don't know why you even tried that, but the tree was in the way, so we had to do something.
I thought for sure Roy was gonna screw it up on Saturday, and then Sunday I got up early, got some work done. Me and my son went out and played a little putt just to get in the
Nice.
mix, and
Absolutely.
we were downtown, so we might as well. We stopped, and the rain scared away everybody at the MB2, so we had the whole place to ourselves. And then we got home, and while I was cleaning and prepping, I got to watch some more while Rory came back, and it was. I'm gonna say I'm gonna try golf this year, watching, but it is a difficult,
It
especially
is.
when it's a 4-day
It
type
is.
thing. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna leave this on.
And you know, and maybe that's the case. Maybe it's just because it's 4 days of the same thing. And there are a lot of reasons to believe that, you know, they could shorten this. I think Live Golf obviously shows you could probably make this 2 to 3 days if you wanted to. But when a $22.5 million purse is at stake here, 4.5 going to Rory when he won the whole dang shebang.
That's right.
I mean, I think these guys are willing to play 4 days of golf and be
Oh
okay
yeah.
with it. 100% okay with it. But I mean, again, day 3, historically low scoring from guys like Scotty and Cameron Young, who both shot 7 under to move them up to 11 under. Rory won the whole tournament at 12 under in day 4. And I mean, there was historic things that happened across the board. Not only Rory winning his second gold jacket in 2 years, Scotty Scheffler posted the first bogey-free third and fourth round at the Masters since 1942. I mean, I went into last week telling you guys this was the perfect tournament, the perfect time for one of these young stars to really make a name for themselves and make their name synonymous with the Masters. A lot of these guys did it. Colin Morikawa on day 4 had 5 straight birdies. Looked like he was about to creep up the leaderboard there until he finally fell short, I believe, on hole 16, 17, somewhere in that area. Like I just said, Scotty Scheffler, bogey-free golf. Rory McIlroy winning his second and joining an elite group of golfers. The fact that only 4 men now have won this tournament back-to-back years is incredible, and Rory is now one of them. His name will forever go down in the Masters history books.
Hadn't seen that since what, 2002?
2001, 2002 with Tiger, absolutely. It was a fun tournament. It was exactly what golf fans were hoping for. It was entertaining and competitive throughout all of day 4. And I have to highlight what everybody else is saying too. Maybe Rory has really shaken off this entire stigma that he had against the Masters. I mean, he looked like he could win about 4 or 5 more if he continues to play this way. And the pressure is off for him. If he's now won 2, God, he could win 3, 4, 5. And I heard Nick Costas right before us compare it to the Tom Brady situation when Tom won his first Super Bowl and it all just kind of crashed down from there. And he kept winning more and more and more. That might be the case here with Rory. It might have just been a mental hangup. And now that he's won the jacket not once, but twice, I can honestly see this being the start of Rory's dominance at the Masters tournament. I really can. We'll see what happens, obviously, next year and the year afterwards, especially when it comes to some of these young players wanting to make a name for themselves. Will Cameron Young jump back up and make a name for himself next year? Scotty Scheffler, obviously being one of the greatest golfers in the world right now, if not the greatest, he's going to make a name for himself anytime. And even guys like Justin Rose, Shane Lowry, Sam Burns, a lot of these guys made a big name for themselves. Hatton had a great day. Russell Hammond had a great day. I mean, I think it was his birthday yesterday too, Russell's. It was just a great tournament. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did as well. And I'm excited to see what happens with Rory's career going forward, because if he continues this kind of dominance, we could be seeing the golden era of golf that honestly we should have gotten a couple years ago, when these guys like Bryson DeChambeau and Scotty were all coming in at first, Brooks Koepka, and we started thinking, oh, we have more names in golf now than we've had probably in the last couple decades. And if Rory starts this and we get a rivalry between him and Scotty Scheffler for the remainder of their careers, it could make golf very popular and very entertaining. So we'll see what happens. I had a lot of fun enjoying this, and it for the most part had no controversy. Although the internet tried, It really did try. Because did you see the story that the internet was upset about? That apparently, I shouldn't say apparently, Rory McIlroy, I believe this was after day 2, during a presser, told everybody that he, to prepare for this tournament, would drop his daughter off at school in Jupiter, go to the airport, jump on his private jet, fly to Augusta, and play a couple rounds at the Masters to get ready for the tournament. And people are now saying, or at least were on the internet saying, that's an unfair advantage. How could he got to go and play at Augusta before the Augusta tournament? That doesn't make any sense. Why would that do that? You guys clearly don't follow what these golfers do before these big tournaments. They do that all the time. In fact, if you win at the Masters, you get a honorary membership at Augusta. So I don't know about you, Spark, feel free to chime in as well. But if I have a private jet and I'm getting ready for arguably the biggest major of the year, yeah, I'm going to utilize my membership at that location. I'm going to go down there and practice a couple times in a week before that and say, all right, I shot a 65 today. I think I'm pretty good for the Masters next weekend. I don't see why the internet was so upset about this. This is practice. Every other sport is allowed to practice, but golfers aren't. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. What are your thoughts?
I mean, there's a reason he won it last year.
Yeah.
I don't understand any of that. I stayed off the social media this weekend, and it wasn't because of that. It was just because I slept Friday and didn't watch SmackDown, and I didn't want any spoilers, and then I got busy. But I did see after it all finished, people complaining that he had I didn't hear cheating. I just said that he had the an extra couple weeks to get in and practice. And I mean, there's a reason. You think he's the only one?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's why I'm saying, like, the fact that everybody was so up in arms about this, calling it unfair. I won't go as far as to say it was cheating. That's a little ridiculous. But it's dumb even to complain about. I mean, let's take into account right here locally. We have something called the Bakersfield Open, which is part of the Korn Ferry Tour. It's part of essentially the AAA of the PGA, where a lot of players come and try to win points so they can move up in the rankings. You know how many golfers come to Bakersfield a week early to play the course at Bakersfield Country Club just to get ready for it?
The majority.
Why wouldn't Rory do the same thing for the Masters? Why wouldn't anybody? If you have won the Masters in the past and you have a membership at Augusta, I would expect you to go and play at Augusta at least a week or two ahead of time to get ready for the Masters. So I don't know. That's why I could not understand. I was trying to wrap my head around that this weekend, how many people were just up in arms saying, oh, Rory clearly had an unfair advantage and blah, blah, blah. Let's calm the hell down. Scotty Scheffler could have gone and done the same thing. He was just having a baby at the time. So obviously he was indisposed, along with everybody else who's ever won a green jacket. So yeah, for guys like Justin Rose or guys who have never won this tournament, sure, kind of unfair. But at the same time, they're playing perfectly fine as it is. So is it really that much of a difference? Obviously, it started out really well for Rory, but day 3 showed that obviously all that practice didn't help that much.
I got a lot of texts, all Scotty fans saying, oh, he's going to blow it. He's going to blow it. I've got my buddy Jeremy. He's like, oh, he's going to blow it. He's going to blow it.
I'll be the first one to say I was one of them that texted Sparky on Sunday when he texted me, Rory. I said, I don't know, dude. I got a gut feeling that he's gonna choke this away.
He tried.
He definitely tried, but he didn't. And honestly, if Scotty would have hit one birdie, I believe on 14, 13, I can't remember which hole it was, but I was watching it. And it was by a hair. I mean, like centimeters should have went in.
I was starting to get nervous about Young. I thought Young was going to steal it.
At the end there, it looked like he for some reason, I was looking at the statistics because a lot of people that I watch golf with don't really care to look at the statistics, but I do. Rory's driving percentage, if you look at that, what it is how often a golfer hits the fairway with their drive. At the start of day 4, Rory was at 45%. To put this in perspective, everybody else at the top of the leaderboard, 70 to 80. So he was ripping it and still knocking in ridiculous amounts of birdies and eagles to give him the lead for this. But the more and more I watched it, especially on day 4, the more I realized, yeah, it's because he's doing the Bryson DeChambeau. He's just trying to hit it as hard as he possibly can, going 350 on a driver. And if it lands in the trees, oh, well, I'll just chip it out of there and knock it in for 2. It's incredible to watch. That's why I'm saying the mastery and just the dominance that this man had throughout the entire weekend instead of day 3. It was incredible. And honestly, we could be seeing the first of many championships. He could be the first one to win 3 times in a row.
That's what I'm thinking.
He could genuinely be the first one to win 3 times in a row. At that point, do you give him a gold jacket? It has to be, right? You got to do something. You can't just a third green one. And at this point, he's going to have an entire closet filled with these things. It's absolutely incredible. Before we get to our guy, Rick Bentley, we're going to shift over a little bit to the NBA because the NBA's playoffs have been set. The play-in tournament, as I said at the beginning of the show, starts tomorrow. You'll get the Orlando Magic against the Philadelphia 76ers, and then the Portland Trailblazers against the Phoenix Suns. And then on the 15th, we get the Charlotte Hornets against the Miami Heat. And on the Western, you'll get the Clippers against the Golden State Warriors. Looking at this entire play-in tournament, it's going to be pretty competitive. And this is the first time in the Eastern Conference, at least, that we don't see the Bulls and the Hawks as well in the play-in tournament. When you look at these 4 teams, my friend, 8 teams, any of them actually look like a pretty solid contender to you if they do make it out of this tournament? I know, obviously, with the Golden State Warriors, you can never really count out Steph Curry.
That's what I was thinking. Either that or, somebody like Portland. I still think they're both screwed. I think they're both screwed.
Yeah.
Even if they do win, they're going to have to take on teams like OKC or the San Antonio Spurs. I think they're all kind of screwed.
Yeah.
And, the Miami Heat, they should just name the play-in tournament as the Miami Heat tournament. But
at this point,
I'm just glad my Bulls aren't playing them. I'm glad that the Bulls aren't playing. And that's sad to say, but who knows? I really think the East is wide open. I think the West is going to go through those teams that I mentioned, San Antonio or OKC.
I appreciate that you brought up the fact that you don't think any of these guys are going to make past the Thunder or the Spurs, because I agree with you. On the West Coast, I'm impressed with Portland. I'm impressed they're here even without superstar Dame Lillard playing all year long. They've been pretty impressive. The Phoenix Suns probably should be better than they are, but with the amount of injuries they've dealt with Jalen Green this year, Devin Booker, and a lot of the other stars, it's understandable they're at the 7 seed right now. The Clippers and the Warriors, you got champions on both sides of that. Obviously Steph Curry, but the Warriors have barely broken, I think, 37 wins this year. And on the opposite side, the Clippers are the Clippers. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they sit Kawhi Leonard thinking, oh, we're going to win this game anyway, so why do we even need him to play? It is just incredible to me that all of these teams have a shot because, again, like you just said, when it comes to the number 1, number 2 seeds on the Western Conference, ain't nobody beating those two. The Thunder and the Spurs, I expect to walk their happy butts all the way to the Western Conference Finals, unless someone like the Timberwolves can come in and surprise some people. But even then, you have so much talent on that Thunder and Spurs team, no matter who makes it out of the West. I kind of agree with you. It's going to be a really rough going for you.
And see, the T-Wolves are playing the Nuggets, and I could see the Nuggets giving the Spurs a good series. I don't think they would pull it out, but I think it'll be a good series. And, we get the Lakers and the Rockets like we talked about.
Kevin Durant could possibly take out Luka and LeBron.
Lakers are beat up. They have a bunch of injuries, and even JJ came out over the weekend and said anybody and everybody wants to play the Lakers right now because we're not healthy.
Nope.
And we're not playing team ball.
And whose fault is that? Well, the healthy part, obviously, you can't really do anything against that. But not playing team ball?
Yeah, in the job?
It's kind of on you, JJ, to kind of make that happen. And to be honest, we've talked about JJ a lot. I've tried to defend JJ as much as I possibly can because I do respect him as a basketball mind, and he hasn't really been that bad of a coach. But when you see him getting into squabbles with his players on the sidelines, obviously him coming out and saying we're not a team, we're not playing team ball. Last year we were complaining about their stamina. and the fact that Luka couldn't play a certain amount of time. Like, when is it going to come down to you stepping up as a leader and as a coach and demanding that from these guys?
Do you think JJ goes along with LeBron whenever he
Now,
decides to retire, or do you think they keep him with Luka in the future of the Lakers?
I think they at least give him one more year after LeBron leaves just to see if it works out. And if it doesn't, then they go find somebody else.
See, I would just ship him out.
I understand. And again, there is some validity to the entire thing that he got the job because he was LeBron's co-host or whatever. He definitely got JJ's foot in the door. LeBron 100% told them, hey, talk to this guy. But again, they hired him because he has a great basketball mind.
He does.
So I would assume that they want to see if that works out when LeBron leaves.
I just don't know if he's the guy with that type of personality and an LA team. I mean, it is not easy to coach a team when you're one of the big teams like the Lakers.
And for me, at least, the only thing that I can think of is just the reason why we haven't gotten that yet, or at least the respect that he should be getting as a coach, is because of his age and the fact that he played with a lot of these guys. I think that relationship obviously blurs the line. You need somebody that is going to be able to put their foot down and be a disciplinarian sometimes. Not somebody that's just going to say, the guys are going to look at and say, oh yeah, JJ, we played against JJ years ago.
Of course. And I mean, I'm not the best to judge that, because I thought the same thing when coaches like Steve Kerr came in.
Right.
I'm like, he's not going to be a good coach. He's not going to be a good coach. He's a player's type of coach and blah, 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 blah.
But see,
and he's a hell of a coach.
There's a difference, though, because Steve Kerr came in and was still a generation ahead of all the people he was coaching.
Yeah.
JJ's the same generation.
Yeah.
So it's like,
plus he had a basketball IQ that.
Right. And it's like having a rec league team and your best friend comes in to be the coach. Are you really going to respect him the way you would respect any other coach?
Yeah.
Probably not. And I think that ties into a lot of it. So we're going to have to see the Lakers either put their foot down and tell JJ, you need to start acting like an actual coach, or they ship him away and they find somebody else that actually can.
And we've talked a lot about the Lakers and the new ownership. And I think with the new ownership, they'll probably put their own guy in there once the LeBron saga is over.
Right.
But my question is, to bounce off the other ones on the East, what about your Cavs?
I am happy that we're taking on the Toronto Raptors. You know what's funny? It's funny because I sat here and disputed it when Chris Flail was in here saying it on Friday. I did not think that Cleveland would have much trouble with the Atlanta Hawks, but after watching that last game, I said, no, we do not want to see the Atlanta Hawks in the first round.
That's the Knicks' problem now.
Absolutely. No, I think Cleveland will be okay. It's really going to come down to whether James Harden shows up, though. That is going to be the big piece, because when you shipped out Darius Garland to the Clippers, you got rid of somebody who was at least consistent in the playoffs. And granted, he may not have been dropping 30, but James Harden has had a history of absolutely disappearing during this time of the year. So we will see if Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley and all these guys can make it happen for Cleveland. I'm happy that we're seeing Toronto, because Toronto is a little more beatable in my opinion. But at this point, it's much like I'm about to say when it comes to the play-in teams, because the point I was going to get to when it came to the first game you'll see tomorrow, the Orlando Magic against the Philadelphia 76ers, I don't know if either of those teams want to play Boston, because Boston looks like the perennial powerhouse of the East right now, even though they're the number 2 seed. I mean, let's look at what both of these teams are going through right now. The 76ers may be without Joel Embiid, their star player, their centerpiece of the entire team. Now, Tyrese Maxey is a fantastic guard and will do everything he can to keep them in the game and competitive. But without Joel, can they beat the Celtics? Probably not. Now, the team that has a better shot at it is the Orlando Magic. Healthy, young, defensive-minded. They've played the Celtics before in the playoffs, and they're looking to make that jump. They are desperately looking to make that push this year to get past the first round and make themselves at least one of these competitive teams in the East. But even they, with Paolo Banchero and, all of these really great young players, Franz Wagner, I don't think they can take on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and win. I don't think either of those teams can.
Yeah, probably not in a series.
But you know who they can beat? The Detroit Pistons. Again, we're all impressed by the Pistons this season. Don't get me wrong. I am incredibly impressed. especially how JB Bickerstaff has this young team playing. Cade Cunningham's coming back at the right time, obviously from the collapsed lung situation. But I'm going to tell you, as a former Cleveland Cavalier fan, I've seen the success that JB Bickerstaff can create with a young team. But I've also seen that success traditionally fades away in the playoffs. Regular season success does not equal postseason success. And a young, inexperienced team in Detroit, although impressive, if you play the wrong team in the first round, you're going home early.
And we say it all the time. It's all about matchups.
Absolutely. So whether it's the Magic, the 76ers, the Hornets, or the Heat, I think any of those four would put up a good conversation or at least a good competition against the Detroit Pistons.
I don't know.
But none
Pistons
of
look
them,
good, man.
I know, but none of them
Are going to
get past Boston.
Yeah, and it's
Not
the
a
same thing in the
single one.
West. I think all four, or really all 8 playing teams are. I would be surprised if any of them get past the first round.
Right. And again,
But there's a reason it's a play-in.
right.
That's what it's there for.
It's
You get an opportunity, you get a chance.
exactly. I mean, look at the Warriors. Again, they didn't even break 40 wins this year, and they're getting a chance at the playoffs.
Exactly.
Same with the Heat. So is it really that big of it? And I shouldn't say we, sports fans, basketball fans, were complaining about this tournament, 2 years ago?
Yeah. And we look forward to it now.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's almost as about as Cinderella as you're going to get in basketball, college, and the professional. But I look forward to the NBA playoffs. Not only the play-in, it's just this is when we're going to get 100% effort.
Yes.
Out of all these players.
Finally.
Yes.
Finally.
It only took 82 games.
No kidding. Hey, man, baseball takes about the same for them to get the same route.
Oh, I know. And
your Seattle Mariners finally look good.
As soon as I bitched and complained, they started playing baseball. So I was shocked on Friday when I said, "What is that number higher than 2? Oh my gosh!"
Cal needs to start hitting those bombs a little bit deeper though, because he's had too many of them this year already. I look every time it seems like I see a Cal Raleigh highlight, it's someone robbing his home run. I'm like, you guys need to stop it.
3 times in one game.
I know. I know. Joe Adele became one of the most recognizable angels after that.
And I'll give a shout out to the LA Dodgers.
I know.
And I'll randomly do it. But I do appreciate you guys taking care of Texas over the weekend. And as we took care of the Astros. So there you go.
We'll see what happens when it comes to baseball and the ever long season that they have to go through. I'm just happy Philly actually starting to hit again, even though we lost to the D-backs yesterday. It is what it is. I need some of these batters to start reaching over 250 though, because I hate looking down the lineup and seeing 200, 200, 210, 200, 215, 220, and then one guy at the very bottom at 325. Like, I love Justin Crawford too. I hope they never let that boy go. But when it comes to Philly at this point, yeah, I think some of these stars are going to start moving because it's just not getting the job done. And we have to compete with the Dodgers, and that's going to be really hard to do if you guys aren't hitting over 200. We'll get to never mind. I can't do it. I'm going to start this entire tirade, and I don't have time for that. Let's take a break. We got Rick Bentley on the other side. We're going to talk entertainment. The boys' final season has started. We're going to get talking about that. We're in the last couple episodes of Invincible as well. So if you're a superhero fan, you'll enjoy some of the talks we have today. Plus, summer blockbusters are right around the corner. So I want to talk to him about some of those and the state of just the entertainment business in general. Are we headed towards something a little bit lighter? Are we going to actually start getting new movies, new ideas here? What his thoughts are. We'll get all of those on the other side. This is the Early Bird Special. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. We don't get to talk entertainment very much, but when we do, we always call in the best of the best. And that's Mr. Rick Bentley from KGET 17.
You call him the best of the best, but you end up with me.
Well,
I appreciate that.
I always say you're the best of the best, sir.
You
Good to see
are
you.
the best.
Thank you.
Where do you want to start? I mean, I know we were just talking or we're about to start talking about the boys' final season and all of that,
Yeah.
but I mean, I have been enjoying the first couple episodes, but I think we were both about to talk about there are some interesting, what would you call it? Subplots, I guess,
Yeah.
within this story.
Yeah, parallels. subplots,
Parallels.
yeah. Well, first off, let's just start by the simple statement that ever since sci-fi came to television or movies,
Mhm.
they have been able to address topics that you probably get shot down for trying to do it directly.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, I go back to the original Star Trek and think about how, they were touching on racism and sexuality and all this sort of stuff.
Acceptance and all
Yeah,
that.
and people were like, wow, that's a great story. And then not realize, wait, they were talking about serious topics.
Right. Absolutely.
So now we see shows like The Boys. Yeah, it was amazing. For years and years, I watched DC and Marvel trying to incorporate their comic book world into the real world.
Mhm.
And it always felt like, they were just trying to force feed it into it.
Mhm.
Because it wasn't a real reality. It was a comic book reality.
Right. Absolutely.
And Marvel was a little bit better than DC at it. I mean, they even started with the comics being this sort of based in a reality.
Right. In New
type-
York
yeah,
City or one of these other
Sp-
places.
Spider-Man having angst and all this sort of stuff. But then we get The Boys come along. And The Boys has been this remarkable series that said, this is probably what it would really be like
Yep.
if there were superheroes.
Absolutely.
And the parallels that they have been running, and I'm not taking any political sides here, but what I love is the fact that The Boys have sort of said, look, here's what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
We're going to reflect that. Whatever your view is. I'm not, again.
Right. No.
And they do it so incredibly well that it really feels like this is the world. This is a real world.
Right.
If superheroes existed, they would do anything they wanted. They could get away with everything.
Right. That's how I usually explain this show to people who have never seen it before. I was just trying to explain it over the weekend as essentially just think if DC and Marvel were one, the same universe,
Right.
but two, were in our world. Like this is what would actually happen if Superman was a real person. Because let's be honest, you give somebody that much power, they're not going to be all good.
Yeah, especially if they're a massive egotist.
Yes.
And that's what we have with Homelander, the main character in The Boys.
Great casting.
Fantastic.
Great casting.
Anthony, oh God, what's his last name?
Snar.
Yeah, has been fantastic in that role.
He has been fantastic, but the writing has been fantastic also. And so that those two go hand in hand. Again, watching recent episodes, I'm always amazed about how, everything's about him.
Mhm.
He could have his best friend get killed, and it's like, well, why do people keep leaving
Why
me?
is everyone leaving
exactly.
me?
But he also has that look. You want your heroes to look like that,
Right.
and you feel like he could be that. But then you get the real side of him, and that's sort of what the world's like. People
Absolutely.
aren't what they appear to be.
Well, and you kind of saw it as well in the scene where they're in the church and he's having that, or the
Right at the beginning.
is just starting to like have his
Oh, yeah.
entire sermon, and then there's the divine intervention scene where he's looking around like, why is everybody into this? Like,
Yeah, right
what
at the
is going
beginning when the
on?
season kicked it off. I mean, he was about to kill everyone that was in there, and he had to get talked down. But yeah, you just hit it. I mean, the writing. I got into it late, so I kind of rewatched everything, and I was so pumped about this new season, and it hasn't fell short at all.
Not at all.
No, and it's sort of a bittersweet in that this is the last season.
Yes.
And I hate that because it's so good.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm afraid if it kept going, the writing would begin to slack off. So I love the idea that if we have 5 incredible seasons,
Yes.
that's great. That's what we'll know it for.
And I think 5 seasons is a good amount. I think that's usually where shows really start to fade is when you get into the season 7, 8, 9. I mean, I'm a huge Supernatural fan, but I'm not going to lie. You could have ended that show probably halfway through its actual run. And now you're seeing a lot of these guys in this show, specifically The Boys, and they're doing fantastic work because Jensen Ackles is still one of the best actors I've seen in quite some time. Can't wait to see what Jared Padalecki is going to be a part of this as well at some point.
Yeah.
But the thing I wanted to highlight as well is, why do you think that The Boys, Invincible, all of these shows that are on Amazon are getting more love from critics than the source material is? I mean, and I shouldn't say the source material, but like DC and Marvel do. Because I look at Rotten Tomatoes, Invincible is sitting right now, at least the newest season, with a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
And deservedly so.
Absolutely. But that never happens for superhero stuff. So why do you think that they like this stuff more than they like the Marvel stuff?
Well, and I think it all goes back to, how ingrained in the truth you want to be.
Sure.
And with I'm a big fan of Superman movies and Batman and Spider-Man.
Right.
I love all that stuff. But it's sort of like the difference between a tween novel and a great piece of literature.
Mhm.
They're both words and they're both written, but one has more quality than the other. And I think that's what, critics we see so much of this stuff. And you can't just keep force feeding us the same material all the time. And so when somebody comes along like the Invincibles or even look, Daredevil falls into that category of the superhero,
Yes.
But I think they have elevated that beyond the source material,
Yeah.
keeping the heart of it completely. But I'm telling you, this stuff that's going on with Wilson Fisk and this new season of Daredevil, I mean, we want to talk about parallels to what's going on in the world.
Absolutely.
It is just stunning what they're doing with
him running New York the way that a lot of people would hear in real life. And I'm excited to see where that show goes now that obviously we had the death we had in the last episode. I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a major change in Wilson Fisk's entire personality. Because, I mean, and I saw this morning.
Are you jumping to conclusions?
Not necessarily, but if you take the source material itself, when he loses that person,
Right.
a lot of different crazy things happen, including a certain Spider-Man movie that everybody loves right now. We could be seeing that happen at some point in a real life situation.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, but you ask about why critics like that. It always goes back to the writing,
right?
I mean, if it's original, if it's giving me something fresh, while maintaining the heart of the original material, I'm going to embrace it every time.
Is there any series right now that you are excited about that's coming out that you think has that same feel that's just unique?
Well, there's a series on MGM Plus called From.
Okay.
It's starting its fourth season in a couple of weeks. That is an amazing series about this small town where if you drive to the small town, you can't get out.
Yes.
You have to survive. It shows like that just it's such smart writing. Then I look at stuff like Peacock's doing this miniature wife movie.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that this weekend.
Yeah, I saw the Lily Tomlin movie years ago where she shrunk, and it seems like something feels like it's a one joke or one note production, I'm not intrigued by that.
Right.
But if there's a potential for it to grow and keep building, I mean, The Boys, every time we see that go off to another character, it's just as good as the original, the core characters.
Absolutely.
And so you have to have that.
That's what's been, I was excited because not only The Boys, Daredevil, Invincible, and then me and my wife recently watched DTF, and I was like, what is this? And then we got about 2 episodes in and now we're hooked. And I'm okay, a lot of these shows, and it is I think more of the casting with Jason Bateman,
David Harbour, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And it is good writing. It was just not what I was expecting when I first started watching it. But then there's a lot of movies coming out. We just went, my son, and watched 2 movies one day. We were like, screw it, we're gonna do it like we did with Oppenheimer and Barbie. We took part, and yes, we did it again with Project Hail Mary and the Mario movie. I did not know anything about Project Hail Mary until I walked in and watched it. One of my favorite movies I've watched recently. Yeah. And the Mario movie kind of fell short for me. But I mean, it was what it was. I looked forward to it for a couple years, and then I got this and I was like, all right.
The Project Hail Mary looked interesting because, again, it's a unique storyline that I don't think we've seen.
Right. Well,
well, seen lately, I should say.
Yeah,
The interaction between a human and an alien race that they have nothing or no commonality.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I in my review, I compared it to E.T. meets 2001.
Yeah,
Yep,
there you go.
I can see that.
That's a
You
great
know,
way to put it.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it does have that sense of
Mhm.
the alien connection, but then it's just
The space wonder of it all.
yeah,
and
yeah,
the exploration.
the visuals on it, and I know there are people thinking a little bit of the science of it, but I do have a question. Like,
It's sci-fi. I mean,
yeah,
none of this.
yeah, but come on, it takes 7.5 years to get there, but it takes 4 years to get back.
Yeah.
Just
True.
use the 4-year
Yeah,
probing. Yeah, come on.
There's
No,
definitely
that's
holes
fair.
in it, but
Yeah, but again, it is a movie. It is not. It's not
Right.
the Artemis,
a
journey.
remake.
Yeah, although there's still people saying now that the Artemis is fake. But
Well, again,
yeah,
we haven't necessarily seen them. We lost them for a while, didn't we? I mean, they went around the moon. We couldn't even talk to them, so maybe it was fake. We don't know.
yeah.
We don't know.
Well, there was a blackout in Hollywood during that.
I'm just saying.
so,
I'm
yeah.
just saying. Summer blockbusters are around the corner, though. Talking about movies, Carl Urban will be in one of them in this new Mortal Kombat movie that'll be coming out.
Yeah, I'm fascinated to see that.
I am too.
And again, I will start this by saying I have not seen any of the summer movies. All I've
None
seen
of
are the previews that everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
I am really intrigued by.
Yes.
Now talking about the boys, Daredevil, that one looks like they're trying to, ease that, her into that, that sort of dark, gloomy
Mhm.
teen angst kind of thing. But we talked about how fascinated about Lobo,
Mhm.
and so I'm looking forward to that. This Masters of the Universe.
Yep. I was about to bring that up.
Which-
What are your thoughts on? We finally got Skeletor's voice in the last trailer. How do you feel?
I feel like it's going to work.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty much exactly the way you thought it would be. A little darker,
Sure
a little
hope so.
raspier. I love that because this is one thing for me. And again, maybe this is me nitpicking, but when you have a skeleton character and you still have their voice sound like they have lips, it
Yeah.
bugs me.
Yeah.
But Skeletor, they didn't. So I'm like, okay, finally, we're getting a little bit of realism with this.
Yeah, but in an animated film, it's okay for animals to have lips.
Right, of course.
So, yeah,
Of
right.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
they have lips. You never. I mean, they can all
that's
talk.
right.
Rick.
That's right.
They can all talk, Rick. I mean, we got that pig movie coming out here pretty soon with Seth Rogen and Gatton Mazzarato too. I can't remember what the name of that one is, but have you seen that where the farm animals take over the farm?
Oh yes.
Yeah, I again,
gosh.
it's a trailer I saw over the
Yeah.
weekend that I'm kind of interested in just because of the pure amount.
Yeah,
of actors they
I'm
have
looking
in it.
forward to the ones where the sheep solve the murder mystery.
Oh,
That's a fantastic
That
one as well.
I love that idea.
Yeah,
So
it's a very Shaun the Sheep-esque type movie. and
Exactly.
I have not seen one like that in a long time.
yeah. So, but all the circles keep circling back to how well it's written,
Yes.
and I have said that a trillion times in my reviews.
So do you think, and I'm saying this especially with the Mortal Kombat movie coming out, Street Fighter, all of these video game movies that traditionally don't do well, especially when it comes to writing. Do you think that a lot of these guys have finally learned the lesson that if they write a good version of this movie, that'll actually do well? Because I mean, the Mario movie, you can kind of take into that as well. Although, yes, it's animated, they're at least written well.
No, Mario wasn't written well.
I thought Mario was written well.
Oh, Mario,
Not the new one.
I haven't
no.
seen the new one
Oh,
yet, so I can't. I can't speak for the
okay,
new
yeah.
one.
I'm talking about the current.
Yeah, the
first
first
one was
one
good.
was good.
There is no story, and I mean,
No, it bounces all over the place.
And
Does it
this
really?
whole thing with Princess Peach and her sister, I was like,
Rosalina.
that could have been the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like suddenly for those who
Well-
are not in depth into the game and everything, it's like, well, who is that? Why? How did they not know each other?
And that's the problem that I think that a lot of these video game movies run into is you don't have enough time to really tell the whole story of the video game.
Right.
So you have to do it in an hour span. And when it comes to this one with the Mario, again, I've not seen Mario Galaxy yet, but from what I understand is this is essentially a Smash Brothers prequel because they're giving you all the characters that are going to be in a Smash Brothers movie.
Yeah, but see, then you're making the audience pay twice.
Right.
And I hate that.
Mhm.
Right.
And so I would have just seen it been 3 movies.
Mhm.
Set up the whole Princess Peach and her sister, and we do that, and then we move into the next one where there's a kidnapping, blah blah blah, and then we can go to the Smash Bros. Okay, but instead we get sort of everything smashed together in this, and all it ends up being is just pure action. I mean,
Right.
and again, these are the hardest movies for me to review because if I was 7 years old, this would be my best movie ever
Mhm.
because it moves fast, it's got action, it's colorful, but I have to look at it from an academic point of view. It's like, oh, pay for this, and are they going to be bored to tears? And I think some
A good amount of them would be if
yeah,
they don't know.
I think one sitting in this room right now.
Yep. I mean, I grew up with Mario, and I was like, okay.
Well, again,
All
but
right.
this isn't like they went from Super Mario World to Super Mario Galaxy, which is a huge transition if you're a video game player.
Mhm.
But you're right. They could have just given us a Mario 2 or a
Yeah.
Mario 3
Yep.
and just kept going with the video games as they went rather
Yep.
than just jumping from this one all the way to the most modern game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, I haven't seen it yet. I'm hoping it's not as bad as you guys are saying because I'm a Mario fan as well. But at this point, I mean, I'm probably just going to wait to watch it on Disney or whatever it comes out on
And
first.
I would suggest that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it again goes back to the
But
writing.
back to my question, though.
Yes.
Do you think that these
yes.
upcoming video game movies could potentially break that curse? Because a lot of people just automatically go in and think, oh, well, this is a video game movie. It's going to suck.
I can't tell you. I mean, you can't judge from a trailer how well something's written.
True.
And so I hope they keep learning. I hope they realize that they just can't. But the problem comes down to is somebody says, oh, we've got a great video game. It's a very popular game. People are going to go see it no matter what.
True.
So
Fans
we
of the
don't-
game are going to
yeah,
go see
And
it.
as we're seeing, is the box office the last couple of weeks has been Mario.
Well,
Yeah.
and look at Borderlands. That movie was awful, but because so many
that movie was
fans-
incredibly awful.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we get that clear.
but because there were so many fans, it still obviously did
Exactly.
pretty well.
And so why push that hard? Why
Right.
work that hard?
And that's what makes me worried, though, because I am a massive Mortal Kombat fan, have been since I've been a kid, but we have yet to actually have a great Mortal Kombat movie. The one we got a couple years ago was good. It was okay.
It was okay.
But I mean, it wasn't, I think, what everybody expected it to be.
Yeah.
And this one at least looks more like, okay, we're going to get
Yeah.
a traditional Mortal Kombat movie that's not going to give us a random character that no one knows. It's probably going to be focused more around Carl Urban's Johnny Cage than
Right.
anything. And it's probably going to make you feel at least nostalgia over it, I would think.
I think what the studios need to keep in mind is that you have to remember that, yes, we're doing this for the fans. They're going to come.
Yes.
But we also need to make the movie so that people who aren't a fan, who don't know Mortal Kombat, will enjoy it just as much.
Absolutely.
And so you have to write a story that intrigues them, and they're just not there out of nostalgia, out of loving the game.
Before we get to our text messages real quick that we have for you, is there one summer blockbuster that you are looking forward to?
Yeah, I still keep falling back. I'm such a sucker for the Toy Story movies.
Yep.
Me too.
I just
And this one looks interesting.
it looks interesting.
Toys versus technology. I mean, it's
Yeah.
again, much like we're talking about with the boys, it's a lesson that a lot of people have to learn in real life.
Yep.
So
Again, it seems like a cop out answer, but that's the one.
No, it's a great film. I think that
well, and the other one, and it falls in. Your listeners are going to tune out right now when I say, The Devil Wears Prada 2.
actually I'm somewhat excited to watch this.
Yeah, I mean, I like the first film so much, but again,
Agreed.
I don't know if that's.
We had a listener
Real quick.
asking about the Odyssey and the new Spider-Man movie.
Yes, Tom Holland. Well, the new Spider-Man movie looks pretty good from the trailer we've seen,
Yeah.
but how are you expecting anything from these?
But I expect the Spider-Man movie does what the other Spider-Man movie done.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if they, I don't know if we put them into our list of great, superhero movies.
I don't know. If he gets the black suit, this might be the good one.
Might be. I don't know. We've said that.
Many times.
Many
over.
times
You're
before.
absolutely right.
I have no hope for the Odyssey.
None?
None. I'm so tired of these, toga movies and
Greek
then,
mythologies.
Yeah, and they just follow the same path, and so
Fair.
I can't get excited about it.
That's fair. I mean, I'm excited just because we haven't seen a new Odyssey movie in a while, so maybe it'll be good. But
Well,
then again, you're right. Isn't Matt Damon supposed to be in this too?
Yeah, and maybe there's a reason we haven't seen a new Odyssey movie.
That's absolutely true as
Yep.
well. Mr. Bentley, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate
Always
you
glad to
as
be here.
always. Next time we'll have you in here and we'll talk more about the Odyssey and some of these summer blockbusters.
Yeah, let's get
coming
to the
out.
summer movies.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We got to take a break. We got Made You Laugh Monday coming on the other side, and then snacks on the other side of that. Talk all things NBA. This is the Early Bird Special. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. We're also streaming video live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Yes, I got Facebook back. I don't know why it kicked us out the other day, but it did. It's time to talk Major Laugh Mondays with our friends over there at the Firehouse this week.
Yes.
Sir, good to see you.
Good
morning.
to see you guys. Yeah, it's always good to see you guys early this Monday mornings. You know, I love it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Introduce who you brought with you, my
Oh,
friend.
yeah, we've got Fabian Acuna, a special guest here. Go ahead, Fabian. Tell us a little about yourself.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Fun Day Monday.
Good morning, my friend. We usually like to get a little bit of a background on you guys and see where you guys started your comedy journey. So where'd you start? How'd you get your start?
So I started actually in college. I tried it out. I went to here at Cal State Bakersfield, and I tried out for fun, and it went really well. And the guy hosting that open mic, it was at Temblers. It was Chris Flail.
Nice.
So,
He's
yeah.
a Friday regular with us.
Yes, yeah, and it was a cool. We had a cool full circle moment where he was the host for the first open mic, first time doing it. You know, it was rough, and then eventually I moved to SLO, did comedy over there for about 4 years, and he did a show in SLO, and I opened for him, so it was a cool little turnaround moment. But I did it in college, moved to SLO, did it over there for a few years, and came back here and jumped right into the Bakersfield scene.
So we've talked so many times with a lot of you guys that are local when it comes to dealing with different audiences. And obviously SLO and Bakersfield are pretty much polar opposites, as I've been told.
Yes.
I have a lot of friends who live in the SLO area.
Nice.
So how do you address walking up and doing a show in front of SLO people and then in front of Bakersfield people?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. In SLO, you can definitely feel them tighten up more than you do here in Bakersfield. There's a couple times because in SLO, it's almost like an unwritten rule. Everybody follows, you know, there's certain things you don't talk about or say. Everything else, you know, you just try to be funny. So every now and then somebody would get brave and try something. Everybody would tighten up over there. But the people were just very nice. Everybody's just there to have a good time. And in Bakersfield, you just go for it. Bakersfield is fun. It's a fun playground. It's a lot more forgiving, which is and it's really fun.
See, and that's funny you say that because I think that's why a lot of big comedians love to come here and test out stuff. I know Kevin Hart has done it multiple times. I feel like because of the personality that Bakersfield has, you can do that. Just throw spaghetti against the wall, as it were, and see if it works. And a lot of the time, people here are just going to laugh at it just because we have really dark senses of humor. So it's just going to work out for you. What was your inspiration to get started in comedy?
It was when I was a kid. I remember, I don't know how old your viewers or listeners are, but there used to be these things called MP3 play, and I used to download George Lopez's special on there.
Absolutely.
And I remember just listening to it, laughing and crying so much, losing my breath, and just falling in love with that feeling. It was a great feeling, and just took that further. And instead of just laughing, I wanted to see if I can create some laughter. And then once I got into it, it was just fun. It became kind of a chess game.
George Lopez is a hell of a bar to try to jump up towards, though, my friend. That is one of the funniest comedians on the planet. He loves coming here, too.
Oh, nice.
What is your comedy like? Is it more family stories? Is it more observational comedy?
It's definitely good with more family oriented. And then from there it went into some observational, but mostly self-deprecating, I would say.
Love that.
Yeah, it's really cool making fun of myself. So.
That's awesome. And I think everybody can enjoy that. But because I've been told, I can't remember if it was you that was in here with us that week or if it was Trevor, but somebody had brought up that you should really look at the audience and see if you made fun of somebody and see their reaction and really understand like how you affected them at that point, because depending on your next joke, it could go really good or really bad. So do you kind of do the same thing when you're making a joke about yourself?
Yes. Yeah. Gauging the crowd is a fun part of comedy that have just exploring. So some stuff obviously works, some stuff doesn't, in my experience, and getting the reaction. You know, I've been recently going for reactions that are a turn off. And just to see if I can get them back.
Exactly. Yeah. That's more my thought is like, have you said a joke that people are just looking at you like, really, dude? Like, we're going to talk about that right now?
And then see if you can get them back.
Yeah, exactly. Like that seems like it'd be kind of harder than making fun of somebody and trying to get that person to actually laugh at you again. So how long have you been doing it then?
I would say probably 5 going on 6 years.
Okay.
Total.
Consistently?
No. There was, when I did it in college, there was a break for probably about 2 years, and then once I got to SLO, kind of hit the ground running over there.
Okay. What made you want to just jump out there and SLO?
Well, it's a job. I got a job out there, so I moved and I was living and working out there, and I was also coaching on the side, and that ate up my weekends and everything. So I couldn't do comedy while I was doing that. Stopped coaching and then jumped right back into comedy.
What did you coach?
Football.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay. What head coach, wide receiver coach? What were you?
I started as an assistant and then just kind of hung around long enough to become the head coach, and then eventually the president of the program, which is interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm handing that off, so I'm not.
You're not dealing with that anymore. Too much pressure.
Yeah.
Me and Burdick have both been there. We both coached youth football league, so that's crazy.
That is pretty funny. Now, what is your coaching style then? Are you more of a player's coach? Are you a hard-nosed guy? Like what do you kind of like to do? Because depending on the age group is what I keep telling people. Because if you're an 8th grader, I'm hard-nosed because you guys just annoy me. But if we're talking about like a 4th grader, I'm the nicest coach on the planet. I just tell you, go out there and run, bud.
Yeah. I think I've become more of a hard-nosed coach over time. But the yelling and screaming and kind of singling the kid out for messing up,
doesn't work. It's not the way to go.
Softies.
Yeah.
No. See, you don't. Here's the thing. You still yell at them, but you yell at them as a group. So they all feel it, not just one. When it's one kid, there's a problem. So
they can see right through that too.
Absolutely.
They can see I'm not a mean guy. I'm like, hey, you gotta stop that.
Right.
Like, this guy.
Like, what is he gonna do to me? He's gonna make me run a lap? Okay. What was being a president like of the entire situation?
Oh, that was an interesting experience just because it definitely takes a team. It's a small town program, so there's certain things that one person can do by themselves, but it's a lot of you got to be kind of a politician, I think, if you're in that role, which was interesting. You got to build connections and just make sure things stay on track. And so if you're with people who get stuff done, it's a lot easier.
It's all right. You got a little sympathetic to Roger Goodell, didn't you, when you got the job? That's what it is.
It is tough.
Yeah.
It is a tough
it's
job.
like you understand now why everybody boos Roger every time he goes up.
I want to hear a nightmare story of the president of a football. Like the parents have to be involved. And they're gonna come to you, bro.
Parents were annoying when I was a coach. I can only imagine when you're the president.
It's that's funny. I heard before I got into coaching, one friend of mine told me that the people who ruin youth sports are the parents.
Yeah. We've said that many times.
Like, really? That's and then once you get into it, I think with anything, with a group of people, you get people who are good, and then you got parents who just want to scream at everything, even if things are going right. So you just kind of have to find the way to kind of crack through that personality and calm them down, bring them back to your side.
I've always told young coaches who have said the same thing to me. It's like, I can't stand this one parent. They always get on me and they don't even help. They're just there to complain. I always tell them, turn around, grab the clipboard, said, here you go. Go ahead. You come down here and do it then, and see their reaction change, because I trust me, they do not want to be in your shoes. They would just rather be the one. So I agree, though. It is really kind of navigating that and earning the respect of not only the parent, but the player at the same time. So obviously that means you're a football guy. What's your favorite team?
Ooh, take a guess.
He went downward, so it's either a Raider.
Somebody in the
Raider?
AFC West.
Okay, we'll go with the Raiders.
It wasn't that hard.
All right. How do you feel about everything right now? I mean, Fernando
geez.
coming in. I think you guys are in a pretty good spot, or at least starting to be.
Yeah, it's, being a Raiders fan, I'm sure you heard it from all the Raider fans. It's been heartbreak after heartbreak. So it's weird. Being a Raider fan, it conditioned us for heartbreak a little bit. So even when they win, I'm still expecting them to lose in a weird way. But I'm like, I have mixed emotions about it.
Okay.
I feel like they've been doing everything wrong for a long time, and now it seems like they're doing everything right in this within this past year. So I'm hoping for the best, expecting the worst. But one thing I'm really struggling with, giving credit and thanking Tom Brady for all this stuff.
Right. I have often wondered how Raider fans feel about that entire thing with the tuck rule and everything that's gone on in the past. So have you kind of gotten over that and now accept him as an owner?
I haven't, to be honest. It's hard.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. I mean, I said the same thing when it came to the Max Crosby trade. I was like, imagine he actually pulled that off and sent him to New England. I'm pretty sure people would be up in arms if that actually happened.
Yep.
Like they would all be thinking he was a plant just to start screwing with people on this team. So, I mean, I think you guys are in a pretty good spot at the moment, though. How'd you feel about the Crosby trade falling through? Did you want the draft picks?
Well, no, I'm actually glad he's back.
See, I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, it was, well, even then, because Crosby, it's kind of like I want him to succeed with anybody because he was such a great Raider player, alumni. So it's kind of like sending your kid off, like, yeah, go to this great college that wants you. And then when we got him back, it's like, okay, come back and work for the family.
Exactly. It's like, you don't need to go anywhere, buddy.
Yeah.
And we've said the same thing. I think that was the football gods just touching you guys on the shoulder and saying, don't mess this up. Keep him exactly where he needs to be. And with the Raiders, so me and Sparky will be at a couple of the games this year, I'm sure. But I'm really excited just to see what the locker room is going to be like this year. I think it's going to be different. I am a USC fan, so when Pete Carroll came in, obviously I was thinking, okay, this could work out. It could not work out. It really is a two-sided coin here. But with the new head coach, the new trajectory of the team, the fact that the Chiefs are looking like they're coming back down and his Chargers haven't exactly done anything yet.
They don't need to. They got Mike McDaniel.
It's true. You guys got the new head or offensive coordinator, so who knows? But I think you guys are sitting pretty right now. I don't think you'll be the worst team in the NFL next year. That's for sure.
That's where Geno is now. So
yes,
Geno
100%.
and the Jets could go sit at the bottom, and
the Jets and the Browns will forever be at the bottom, no matter who is at the quarterback position, in my opinion. But it is what it is.
We got Tyson up in here. Where you been?
You know, I was out of town this weekend. I'm still a little bit tired. I'm sure you guys feel it every Monday.
You've been a busy guy.
Yeah, I went to San Diego. The son had a senior night
for cool.
lacrosse, and then when I go down there, I get to play in the sandbox down there, man. And the guys are always really nice, and there's always mics going on. And so yeah, I hit up a few this weekend.
That's what I was going to ask you. How's the scene over there?
The scene amazing. There's Mic Drop in like Central County, right, which is a beautiful place. They're running rampant right now. They just opened up Detroit. They've got another one in Plano, Texas, and then one in Chandler, Arizona. They just had a big Pine comedy festival that's just took place. So they're doing it right, you know, for comedy clubs. And then there's like downtown Gaslamp District. You got Madhouse Comedy Club, Laugh Factory, American Comedy
District is so much fun.
It
dude.
is.
Like you can find about 5 different places you want to go visit every single time.
Yep.
It's great. What high school did your son go to?
He goes to Patrick Henry. It's in Patrick Henry High School. Who went there? Ricky Waters went there.
Oh, okay.
A couple other people. It's a haven for athletes.
Obviously, he's a lacrosse athlete.
Yeah, he's lacrosse. You know, like we were talking about coaching. I coached him in soccer, baseball, and football. Same with my pops, and then my son wants to go play water polo and lacrosse. So I get to just be a spectator, and I'm like learning as it's happening. I'm like, I wish I played this game.
Look, that's what I've said. I mean, when I was in high school here at Garces, we were the initiators of getting a water polo team there.
Oh, nice.
So obviously me being curious in my junior year said, screw it, I'm going to go try. Quickly learned I was not made for water-based sports. Quit football, and I was meant to be at football.
Yeah.
But lacrosse, I've said a million times, we got people here locally that are, you know, trying to get it off the ground. And it is one of those sports that I think a lot of athletes could be very good at, especially if you're not exactly a starter on the team you're playing for right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. Jim Brown, remember the best running back in history? He was supposedly the best lacrosse player.
That is a rumor. Yeah,
they say a lot of them go to football, or a lot of them go to different sports because lacrosse isn't as big as it should be.
Right.
But I think
they do have professional leagues now, though.
Yes,
that are making solid money.
I went and saw the California Redwoods with my son.
Oh, did you really?
They played the Utah team that had the #1 draft pick. This guy, I'm forgetting his name now, but it was great. And I love the sport.
Where do they usually play?
So the California Redwoods play up and down California.
Oh, okay.
But this time, when we saw them a few months back, it was at San Diego University. I always say SDSU, but it's San Diego University, San Diego, rather.
Yeah.
So
yeah. The blue and gold team, not the red and black.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not the Aztecs.
Not the Aztecs. Monty.
Well, that's interesting. What have you kind of been able to do as to help your son learn the game of lacrosse, though?
Honestly, nothing.
Nothing
at all. You're learning,
and I watch. I'm like, don't be so aggressive, because he finds himself in the penalty box. Like nobody gets, and he's in the penalty box all the time. And I think it's just like when he gets gassed out, he's like, let me just hurt somebody with this stick.
Why not?
Let me get to take a knee, and I get a good view of the field. And so I think that's why he's getting a lot of penalties. So I should say that, don't get penalties, but it's fun to watch him get out there and be competitive, man.
Has he been looked at from other colleges?
Yeah, he committed to a school in Idaho.
Nice.
And then he's getting some looks right now, so he's not sure exactly where he wants to go yet.
The verbal commitment might be coming back a little bit here.
That's a good problem to have, though.
It is. Yeah, it's a great problem.
Sought after, He's a lost art, which is LSM. It's long stick MIDI. Nobody knows what that means, but it's
like you're gonna have to educate.
You guys go look up some lacrosse. It's fun, and you guys will get hooked on it immediately.
Absolutely, and that's why we have Chris Orr on the show, just to bring it up and talk about the stuff we have here locally. Man, it's a sport, and we talk about it with rugby too. Everybody is sitting there thinking, oh, these are just European sports. They're not going to be big. No, like they are starting to surge here in America. And if there's one place that's going to accept all of these, it's us. There are athletes here in America that can thrive at all of these sports and be making incredible money doing it.
That's true. Yeah. Huge talent pool for
absolutely
sport.
Not every so why not go try something else?
Right.
I mean, that's what we see when it comes to wrestling all the time. We see it. Well, rugby players usually make the transition to football, not the other way around. But I'm pretty sure football players could make that transition as well. So we'll see what happens. But
Make You Laugh Monday tonight out at Firehouse. What time? What time should they be there? And if a comedian wants to, or even somebody that wants to try comedy, what time should they go out there? Or how do they sign up?
So signups are at 6:30, but guys start getting there. I mean, I get there at 5. We get guys that come in between 5 and 6, and we have a good little hang there because there's arcade there. You can punch the punching bag and find out who has the strongest punch, or you can bowl or play pool. So there's plenty to do. And then we start around 7:15. Reach out to Made You Laugh Mondays, all one word on Instagram if you want to try comedy for your first time. And then we'll get you up.
We did have a YouTube listener that reached out in our comment section saying they wanted to try it out for the first time. And I told him, it's like, reach out to whomever you want, whether it's Made You Laugh Mondays, Chris Flail, somebody. We'll help you make up on the stage.
Anthony on
absolutely.
Thursdays.
Anthony.
There's open mics everywhere, and you guys have been killing it. How's the crowd been?
Crowd's been good, man. I mean, we had unforeseeable. When we started, we were just like, let's do Monday nights, and then all of a sudden we rolled into Monday Night Football, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. We're doing this, and then we played against World Series match, and then we kind of just hung out there until the game was over, and it's like, let's start this mic late because they let us do what we want at Firehouse.
Oh, of course,
they don't let us do what we want, but they give us a lot of cushion to play, and so the crowds have been consistently good, and with all the comics bringing people like they do, plugging the thing, it's just great. The community's working out really well. And when I was out of town, people in San Diego and LA, the two places I stopped, were saying that, hey, I'm hearing about Bakersfield, and I think a lot of it has to do with the well. So they're putting us on the map, and then us doing the in the trenches, doing the open mics and getting out there. We're making a name for ourselves.
I had a few people at the BCHS Key event on Saturday asking me about the well and how it was, and we were talking about it for a while. So I think you're right. I think a lot of people are really starting to see that this is going to be a bigger comedy club, and it really does feel like that. So it's going to be really exciting to see what all of you guys can do with this thing. It really is.
I got to see Tyson at the roast battle, the next roast battle.
Yes, I was just about to ask that of you. And like, are you going to be a part of this or what?
I love the roast battles. I love what Anthony Rivers does. He was just in here a week ago, right? Yeah. And I love what he does. He actually put me on early when he had this Mike gave me my first 10-minute feature set, and so I got so much love for this guy. But the roast battles are just—it's
not
chaos. I like it. Don't get me wrong, but it's just they do such a good job at controlling this very chaotic format. And they have guys go up and do sets, and they have guys go up and do roasts, and there's a panel. And I just really love sitting back and watching it all. Yeah. I don't know if I want to throw my hat in there because
I talked to him last night, and I told him, if you ever need some judges,
yes,
I don't think I could be on. I don't think I could be on stage with that unless I was a judge, because I'll blow it.
I know.
I will gladly sit up there and be a judge if they need one. That would be great.
Well, this is a really good time to maybe plug it. So May 25th, or May 24th rather. We already have a new date for the roast battles.
Nice.
Since we brought it up, hey, go get tickets now. It's already active. It's already on there. And then we might have some panelists here that we got to plug here.
I was gonna say, do we know who's gonna be going up against each other this time? Is it gonna be tournament style?
They do wild things, unheard of things. Like the last roast battle that we had at the White Lane location, we had what they just randomly did. I've never seen it in my entire life. They did a tag team roast match. Roast battle. So some of the guys that have been here, Clay Curry, Anthony Howdy was a part of it, and it was 2-on-2. Pat Rabin was in it, and it was just like, you don't think it can get any more chaotic? Well, dude, throw 4 guys in one ring. You know what I'm saying? Table ladder chair match. It felt like it was
absolutely
insane.
Awesome.
So, May 24th
sounds fantastic.
We'll continue to pump it up, and I'll reach out to him, and we'll get him on before then.
Are you going to jump in on one of these as well, or?
I've done a couple in the past. I would love to do it again. It's
nice.
addicting. It's a different style. It's a new muscle that you're working.
It really is a fun format that not a lot of people do. And like, whether you grew up a fan of Wild 'N Out or just love roast battles in general, I think everybody can just have fun with this as long as you have a good, sense of humor about the whole thing. You don't take
You
stuff
gotta have
personal.
thick skin for that.
Yeah, it's like if you take stuff personally, you are not meant for this kind of
Right.
format.
Right.
Major Laugh Monday though tonight. What
Yes.
can they do outside of just reaching out to you? Can they just show up? Like,
Yeah, come on down, show up, come check in. We're upstairs, so everybody that goes into the firehouse may have never seen this, or if they look up, they're like, "Oh, that's a cool spot for a private, exclusive, ticketed maybe event." No, dude, just come upstairs, and then everyone's gonna probably talk to you and say, "Oh, hey, how you doing? If you're a new face, hey, welcome. Oh, you trying comedy?" And they'll plug you in with the right people, and then we'll get you on the list. And bring some friends, family out.
I meant to ask you this a couple weeks ago, and I think we already have. But if they did order food and like went there for dinner, can they still go upstairs and sit with you guys, and they'll give them the food up there and all that stuff?
Yes, we have great servers upstairs that really clock in some steps going up and downstairs. And so
you do not have to choose between the burger meal or anything.
No, come right upstairs and you'll be taken care of. Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, before we let you go, how are you feeling about the draft? We're right about a week away.
What draft?
NFL.
Lacrosse draft.
Yes.
Actually, we're going into a war. Right
that's
now.
what I was unsure. I was like,
no, that's fine.
Let's
Wrong
forget
draft.
it.
And I heard that they extended the age for that now too,
That's
which
what I
I'm
thought
not
we were
happy
talking
about
about.
either. But no, your Chargers. How
Yeah,
do you feel?
I think we just need to get the interior offensive line straight. That's
Figured
our
out.
Achilles. Yeah, and once we get that, then I think like your co-owner, Tom Brady, one of the great, I got to give it to him. But he's the greatest, right? I hate when he was active, but right now the greatest quarterback of all time is saying that we have the greatest quarterback. That's what I want to go off of. Justin Herbert.
really is one of those guys that
I've been hearing about it for years.
Stop
I don't know.
it! Stop
No,
it!
it's
I don't know.
You see a glimpse of hey, if he doesn't have the most hurry ups and the most sacks and the most, then what do you think happens on all of those taken away plays?
I also heard the Jets say Geno was going to take him to the promised land. So, I mean,
Good
people
Lord.
talk.
Yeah, that's a New York team, so watch out.
I'm just saying, I love Justin. I've always loved Justin, but I am kind of on his side now. If you guys don't figure it out within the next 2 years, ship him out so someone else can.
I like giving us 2 years because last season you said if he doesn't do it this year, then
I'm giving you at least
I
another
know. I'll
year.
take 2 more.
But I'm just saying, it's the same thing he's saying. If you don't figure it out, you're wasting this kid's potential.
I know. That's a sad thing.
And you have now 2 coaches on this staff that are supposed to be quarterback
heavy. Yeah.
So if you can't figure it out with McDaniel and with Harbaugh, just ship him away. Go figure it
Give
out.
him a chance.
Sign Kyler
Give
Murray.
him an
for all
offensive
we care.
line. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, that's all
You
we
got
need.
2 great tackles.
Yeah.
And
If they can stay
arguably-
healthy, I meant.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's the issue is the health of everything.
Forever.
PG power plant too.
No,
that we
not
don't
like
know about.
No.
I'm just saying, you never know.
They're safe. They're safe.
All right. Well, anything else you guys want to talk about before we let you go?
Dodgers tonight. That's all.
That's it.
Nice.
Now, Major Life Mondays. That's it. He likes. What other sports do you like? That's it.
Well,
End of
yeah,
story.
yeah.
Football guy.
Dodgers.
Dodgers and
Dodgers,
Lakers.
Lakers, and Raiders. That's
okay.
easy.
LA
Classic.
base.
Yeah.
We get it. Everybody else is the same way. So you think Dodgers are going 3-peat this year, or do you think it's going to be rougher?
I'm really hoping. I don't know. It's like that back to back. They barely squeezed it out, and so they're gonna have to make some adjustments. And but I think so. I have to.
I mean, the roster is the best roster on paper. Let's be fair. So I still have a little bit of faith that Philly could figure something out, but let's be honest, it's like going up against the Goliath at this point, and we're David, and I'm just hoping and praying the slingshot hits where it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So, but gentlemen, thank you so much for your
Thanks,
time.
man.
We
Thank
appreciate you as always. Hopefully, we will see you back in here very soon. Tyson, we'll see you back here in about 2 weeks.
We'll see you right after the draft.
Actually, that's true. too. Hopefully, the right one. Let's take a
Or you
break.
won't.
We got snacks coming up on the other side, talking all things NBA. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. We're also streaming video live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can join us on any of those social media platforms, as well as TikTok and Instagram. But it's time to talk all things NBA. The NBA play-in tournament begins tomorrow, so we have to call our guy Snacks to talk all things in the world of basketball. We have a ton happening in the coaching area. Obviously, we got to get you guys ready for these matchups you're going to see starting tomorrow. So let's get his thoughts. Sir, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How to do?
Pretty well, my friend. Pretty well. Weekend wasn't long enough, but it is what it is.
This weather is perfect.
It really is. Before we get into the play-in matchups, there were two major stories in the world of coaching that I wanted to bounce off you, my friend. First, obviously, being Doc Rivers stepping away from the Milwaukee Bucks after just 3 years. He's taking a lot of the blame for this team not working out the way they were hoping, especially after the championship. Is Doc at fault for a lot of this stuff, especially the relationship between Giannis and the front office right now? Or are they just kind of blaming him and hitting the reset button, hoping this all works out?
I kind of feel like this has been his niche in his whole coaching career. Like when it works out, it's the team's success, but when it doesn't work out, it's always his fault.
Right.
So I don't know how I don't know how we always get to this point with Doc Rivers, but outside of Boston, what has Doc Rivers, really done to keep getting head coaching jobs?
Right. I mean, the Clippers run wasn't very great, wasn't as great as we were thinking it was going to be. Obviously, this one with Milwaukee hasn't been what they were hoping. I don't know. I love Doc. I think he's a great coach and a great person, but I just think that I agree with you. Like outside of the handful of years with Boston and the Big Three, he really hasn't been one of those greatest head coaches in the NBA.
Yeah, and I guess if you go into it with that perspective, and it's coming off as I don't like Doc Rivers. I actually like Doc Rivers. It's just you have to speak facts into the conversation. And I think all of us who's listening or having a conversation will ask the same thing, like, what has he really done? And you asked us about a lot of head coaches, like a good person, good coach where he was, but it just seems like his last few stints have not been going well for him, whether he doesn't get along with a player or the front office got issues. But he's also always taking jobs where things have been issues. And maybe as a coach, he think he can come in and change things around. In this instance, to answer the question, I think this is more the front office. When you have an issue with the front office of your best player, this has nothing to do with the rest of the team.
Yeah,
it's between you two.
I thought the same thing, but I also was thinking maybe this move of getting him out of that head coaching role was the last ditch effort for Milwaukee to kind of keep Giannis around. You know what I mean? Maybe they're just kind of saying, hey, we're going to go find a head coach that you like. I don't know. It was in my head on the entire situation as a whole.
Oh, well, I mean, for me, I don't know really the last coach that was successful. And I think that's kind of where it all started, where the back and forth between Giannis and the front office has come. Giannis is like, what are y'all doing? Like, we've had a great...
Yeah, we won a championship with that guy.
Yeah, we won a championship with this coach. You all the one made moving pieces, so now the coach has to work with what he has, and so I think that's where a lot of that started from, because they got rid of a coach that was successful. Just came off championship season. Yeah, the following season wasn't that great, but you don't get rid of them right after that. After you got rid of some moving pieces. So I mean, a lot of times I don't know what organizations are doing, but hey, that's why I'm not in the front office.
This is true. This is what I say all the time as well. You kind of brought it up already, but do you think Doc gets another head coaching gig?
Well, that's another thing. I think once you get a head coaching job, it's not hard to get one.
Right.
And which is, I think, should be a thing though. Just because you've been a head coach don't mean you've been a successful one. Don't mean you need to get another one. So I would, if I was him, I would just sit out a year and kind of regroup, let people forget about me, and then come back and try and get a head coaching job, or you be an associate head coach.
Well, what I was thinking this as well. What do you think the possibility is that Doc goes to college and coaches the college game?
That I don't see,
no.
But nothing has been surprising when it comes to the college level, because the college level is pretty much being ran
We got Mike
the pro
Malone down
level.
there now. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that some of these colleges start looking to professional coaches to be their head coach so they can really have a leg up on a lot of these other colleges and how they structure the money part of things.
Yeah, and I think they're doing that because a lot of the NBA head coaches now they're hiring head coaches / GMs because now they could be a head coach / GM and stuff. Granted, they're still at the bigger schools. They have general managers now.
Right.
A lot of people probably don't know that. But when you hire a head coach that's coming from the league that's been successful in the league, he pretty knows all the realms. So they're taking one occupation really much out of the picture. So again, I don't see it passing, but I just don't see him doing college. I don't see him having the patience for college basketball.
That's possible. That's definitely the turnover rate probably would be a little annoying to deal with.
Yeah, it's worse than the NBA.
The other one I wanted to bounce off you, the Kings have decided to keep Doug Christie despite the team being arguably the worst team in the Western Conference this year. They're not really blaming Christie just because of all the crazy injuries they've had to Sabonis and Murray and a lot of their key players this year. Levine, I think, barely played half the year. Do you think this is a smart thing from the Sacramento Kings, or do you think this is just them accepting mediocrity?
I think it's a smart thing because when I watch Sacramento play, it's not like they go out there and play like they're looking to tank. The pieces that are playing are really playing hard. It seems like they still, they still have a good relationship with Doug Christie. And I watch Sacramento because I get a lot of the games on my YouTube TV. And it seems like the players still rock with them. So they have had a horrible, not season, but when it comes to injuries, I think they've been the one that's been hit the most. They can none of the star players have ever been on the floor at the same time. I've very rarely been on the floor at the same time. So it'll be kind of hard. Now, granted, that's something we're used to where these organizations, after a horrible season, all right, you're gone. But I like the fact that Sacramento is sticking with him and saying, okay, we'll give you another year when you have all your pieces together. Right. And I think that's fair because a lot of times these coaches get let go and they haven't had a whole team all season. So
that's fair. I mean, they did just sign him to a 3-year deal at the beginning of this season. Maybe they just stretch it out one more and see if they can have a healthy season with him and see if this team can find success. But with everything that's happened with them, I just didn't expect Doug Christie to be keeping his job, if I'm being honest. But it is what it is. I'm not in the front offices like we just said. The NBA play-in tournament starts tomorrow. Is there any matchup that you're looking forward to watching?
Man, I was looking at the playoff bracket here. I'm most definitely looking forward in the West, Denver and Minnesota.
That's going to be a great one.
I was looking at the East bracket. I'm like, I just don't know who's good in the East. For me, it's wide open in the East.
Even with Boston, because that's the point we were making this morning is I don't think either Orlando or the 76ers want anything to do with Boston. But then again, none of the play-in teams on the East really do.
No, they don't. And I actually got Boston winning the East.
Do you?
Yeah,
really?
Over Detroit. I think Detroit is just going to try and bully Boston and try and get them out of it. But Boston has been, it's done this a time or two. So,
so you think the Eastern Conference Finals will be Detroit and Boston this year?
Yes.
Okay, that'd be an interesting matchup.
And I have the Spurs and Boston in the finals.
Really? Okay. So Wemby takes on Jason Tatum. That'd be an interesting matchup as well. I don't know.
Let me backtrack and say if all stay healthy,
true,
because we all have to make it through. If all stay healthy, I have the Spurs and Boston, both the number 2 seeds. For some reason I get okay. They've had their run, but I don't think they got a back-to-back in them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
What has
they been playing?
True. I mean, but what is it that is making you feel that way? Because I mean, they have been the most successful team in the NBA this year.
What I've been seeing from the Spurs is a drive. I think Wemby gonna come out with that all-star attitude, where he's just gonna force people to step their game up. I really just think we're gonna see a different level with him. I think we're gonna see a different level. That's what's gonna bring out a different level of DeAndre Fox. And the rest of the team, and also that's a really good young coach, man, over there.
Yes,
he got a lot of pop old ways in him, and I love the fact that he gets on his players too. He got on one of his young players yesterday about let's go, man, get rolling, and the kid responded. So I appreciate that, especially at the NBA level.
And they really did structure this team like the dynasty years of the Spurs with Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. I mean, you could argue that Fox is the Tony Parker of the team, Wemby is Duncan, and Castle is Manu. I mean, their styles are very similar, and they run the game very similarly too. So the dynasty part of it, or at least the success that the dynasty had, could come with it.
And the best thing about that series is both teams play on both ends. It's just not. It's both teams play defense and both teams run a good offense. So I mean, that's going to be a fun series to watch. I just think the Spurs are going to some way, and a 7-game series again, pending on the injuries or whatnot. But in the 7-game, that series is most definitely going 7 games.
Oh, 100%. Who do you think win? So you have sorry, I don't think you actually said who you have winning the whole thing. So if it's Boston and the Spurs, who do you have winning that?
Shockingly, Boston.
Boston. Okay.
Oh.
Well, I mean, they have the championship caliber experience, though, so it does make sense. I would like to see Vukovic win a ring.
And I know people don't want to see it or talk about it, but they're striking at the right time.
Yes, they are.
They are definitely getting hot at the right time. I mean, I can't count out teams like the Knicks, even the Hawks, but I think overall, I mean, OKC as well. I think OKC's got an easier route. I think whoever they end up playing, which is probably the Spurs or Nuggets in the championship on the West side, but say, I'm gonna flip back and go with Snack's old team. I guess I'll go with Detroit. I'd like to see Detroit and OKC. I think that would be a hell of a series. But
wonderful series.
I like Wemby, man, and I love watching Wemby play. So I mean, I would be. I mean, considering we get championships on both sides, say we get Detroit and Boston in the East and OKC and San Antonio in the West, that is entertaining.
Oh,
that's what you want to see.
That's what the NBA definitely wants out of this entire series. Or maybe the Knicks making it to the Eastern Conference instead of the Pistons.
See the Knicks in Boston,
or something.
because they'll line up before the championship. But looking at the, playing teams or even teams we haven't talked about, the Lakers and Rockets, the Cavs and Raptors. I mean, is there any? I mean, we talked about the play-in when we first started the show, but looking at the 1s and 2s in both the East and West, do they have a chance at all?
No, I don't.
Honestly, no, you're not
That's
wrong
why
in
they're
saying
there.
that. We said the same thing about the play-in teams. It doesn't seem like any of the 8 of these teams really have a chance, but if I'm anybody on the Eastern Conference, I would rather take on Detroit than Boston right now. And it would probably be the same thing on the other side as well. I'd rather see the Thunder than the Spurs, which is wild to say.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't see anybody beating Boston right now. Because again, they're hitting at the right time right now. Their chemistry is on point. They've been here. They've done it a time or two. So they know what it's like, and so maybe the coach also knows how to rest in minutes, and if we want to get down to the nitty gritty of those type of things. I just don't. None of these teams in the East have impressed me enough to be like, yeah, Lakers most definitely not. Sorry, my West Coast of California Laker lovers. It'll be a good series between the two because the Rockets are trying between him and Kevin Durant, LeBron and Kevin Durant, but. Again, I just don't see it, man. I don't.
I don't blame you.
Even the Warriors?
The Warriors?
Dude, I'm telling you, them not cracking 40 wins this year is making me feel difficult about the Warriors.
Yeah, see, the thing about the Warriors, they have to come across OKC, and there's that, and that, I mean, that's pretty much done because they can't keep up. OKC is still technically a young team.
They are.
Yeah, they're still technically a young team, and Golden State are just fighting to get their knees correct each night. So
really, yeah, that's true too.
It's kind of hard for me to say. What team is that? The Clippers in 9th?
Yeah, Clippers have the Warriors first. So I mean, I could see the Clippers losing to the Warriors in this first play-in game, but you're right. I mean, the Warriors going against the Thunder. You can never count out Steph, but are we really going to sit there and say that they have more talent or enough talent to take out the Thunder? I just don't see that happening.
OKC beat them by halftime.
Yeah, and also, a lot of people aren't talking about Portland.
No, and that's a team that I did not expect to be in the play-in at all since Dame didn't play a single game.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't, but they're also another team that are really, really striking at the right time. I was listening to Inside the NBA with Charles and them, and Charles even said the same thing. He's like, "Yeah, don't nobody want to see Portland right now." And I started watching them play. I'm like, "Oh, I get it now," because they're starting to click. They're moving the ball around. They're playing on the defensive end. It's just not a one-person show. So that's hard to guard when you have a team like that, because you don't know who's the true matchup, who's the go-to that night. So.
Any of them could beat you.
I would watch Portland.
That's going to be a fun team to watch in this play-in tournament and see what they can do against the Suns first. But I mean, do you think they have a good shot at taking out the Suns in this first game? Because the Suns are dealing with a lot of injuries themselves. Jalen Green and Devin Booker aren't going to be 100%. So I would expect them to find some sort of weakness that they can exploit.
Yeah, I'll see them against. I can see them against the Spurs. It looks like that's who they're going to play. No, they'll play. Yeah, they'll play the Spurs.
Yeah, they'll play the Spurs because they're the 7 and 8 seeds. So whoever wins out of that will be playing the Spurs first.
Yeah. So the Spurs. I can see Portland beating the Suns. Yeah,
that's going to be
just for the same reasons I just said.
Flanagan against Wemby is going to be interesting. I would expect Wemby to eat him alive, but that kid has been a stud this year. So I don't know. Maybe he finds a way to bully ball him.
Yeah, I just think Wemby is going to come with a whole totally different.
Yes.
Like, he knows what it's like now.
Yeah, I agree 100%. My last question for you, my friend, before we let you go. Which team in this playoff run do you think is most likely to blow up the roster if this doesn't work this year? Teams that pop up in my head, obviously the Knicks, the Cavs, the Lakers. I think that there's one team in this playoff that if they don't make it past the first round, they're looking to blow up the whole roster and start anew. Who do you think that's going to be?
I'm going to take the Lakers out of this because they blew up their roster every year.
True. And with LeBron most likely leaving in the offseason, it would make sense that they hit the reset button.
I am going to say the Knicks and, shockingly, OKC. And reason why I say OKC is where money comes into factor. That those players, 3 years straight going to the NBA Finals, or 2 years, 2 or 3 years straight, they're going to the NBA Finals. They're going to start asking for more money.
That's very true.
That's when teams start to break up. And I can see where the Cavs are, because those guys too,
it's been in the cards for Cleveland for the last 2 or 3 years. I think when they traded away Darius Garland, it really showed that they're willing to move a lot of these pieces.
Plus, they're going to need the money for LeBron.
Yeah, that's true too. Honestly, I think that is in the cards.
And I've read the same thing. I've read the same thing with the Knicks. If the Knicks get knocked out early, it's all in for Giannis.
Yep, I've heard the same thing.
Yeah, so that's why I would go to the Knicks, but I threw OKC in there because I don't want people to be surprised if that happened. Yes, they'll keep SGA. Yes, they'll keep the other Williams, but he can never stay healthy, so they might look to move him. But I agree with you all with the Knicks. Knicks might be the number one team. If they don't go past the first round, it's a wrap for them.
If the Knicks don't make it to the finals this year, I think they blow it up. I think they realize we need another piece. And I think Sparky hit right on the head. They're going to do whatever they need to do to make that Giannis trade happen. And we move on knowing that Giannis and most likely Jalen Brunson are going to be leading the Knicks to some sort of relevancy in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, and with that, you also have to keep Mike Brown for another 2 to 3 years, though, because now you're asking him to change over the roster and have to because if you bring in Giannis, that means you got to get rid of a bunch of pieces. So now you only got 2 main pieces. So what money do you have left to build around that?
Right.
Which is going to be a question. So you can't keep getting rid of coaches because you have a horrible season, man.
And Mike Brown is a good players coach too. He'll be able to figure it out when he has the pieces in front of him, I would assume. I don't know if the Knicks have what it takes right now.
I asked Burdick the same question. I'm going to ask you before we wrap it up is, all this drama that we've heard from JJ Redick this year, recently even, but you think, if LeBron leaves and the Lakers kind of go into, a new chapter, do you think JJ Redick is safe as head coach next season?
Oh, absolutely. I do. Simply because again, when you deal with injuries such as with Luka and whatnot, it kind of detours your season because now you got to keep doing roster changes. Now you're playing players that have not really had the minutes with these top 8, let's say, or top 7 on your list, though. And I don't really think JJ, you can't really get rid of him because they've had 2 good seasons under his belt.
I don't think it's because of the coaching. I think it's more of the new ownership and putting their name into what the Lakers' future is.
Exactly.
Yeah, in that sense, then probably. But I don't. If you want to be realistic, I don't see why you get rid of JJ. He's had 2 winning seasons. With what he has to work with, he knows basketball. We know that, and he don't mind. Again, I keep every coach that don't mind getting on a player that's making $40+ million.
Right.
If you're holding a professional athlete accountable, I like you. I don't care.
I agree with you on that, but I made the point earlier this morning that I don't know if these players will fully respect JJ like they would another head coach because they played with the guy. You know what I mean? Like it's like being in a rec league and your best friend is the head coach. You're never going to fully respect him. So do you see that being a problem, especially since JJ, I mean, the things that he's been complaining about aren't necessarily great things to be going to the media about. Like last year, all he was talking about was how nobody was in shape during the playoffs. This year, he's openly saying everybody wants to play us. We suck. Like I don't know if that's necessarily the message you want to be hearing from your head coach.
I mean, that's hard for me to answer because coming from old school coaching, that's how they talked all the time.
True.
So,
True.
But what you're saying is we're dealing with a sensitive world of athletes. So, and I hear this all the time. What coaches shouldn't say that at the podium. Oh, are we forgetting what coaches sounded like? What Don Staley? I mean, not Staley, but John Daly sounded back then.
Yeah.
What was the old coach from Miami Heat? How he sounded
Pat
like
Riley.
Riley,
yeah. Well,
the Pat Riley days.
Yeah,
Wilkins.
so I just think it's weird to this new age order of listening or humans because everybody's so sensitive. Like this for me is like, okay, good. So finally somebody is getting on these millionaires and holding them accountable for being piss poor. No, you suck. You're out of shape. You're only doing the least. And I'm okay with it. So I think the only people that's tripping are 1, sensitive, athletes, and 2, sensitive fans.
100%. And I think we need more coaching like that.
Yeah, like if you can't accept the coaching, that's what a coach is for. A coach is not to be your friend. It's to let you know, yes, you're doing good, but this is what you need to work on. And if you can't accept that, get out the sport.
No, that's a great point. I mean, and you may be right. Maybe that's why the Lakers haven't seen the success that they used to, is because they haven't had a coach like that in quite some time.
Yeah, and those are the coaches that these organizations that I'm talking about keep getting rid of. These are coaches holding these players accountable. And as soon as they start holding their superstars accountable, the superstars want to get rid of them because now you can't do what you want to do. Absolutely. And now you're not giving us your all. And I think that's a bunch of BS, man.
No, I see your point. And honestly, it's a very valid one, my friend. So I think you're absolutely right. Thank you so much for your time. We will talk to you next week.
All love, folks. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you guys for joining us. Obviously, I didn't get to the wrestler bios. We'll start those tomorrow with, again, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan, and Stephanie Baker, as well as some others. I might throw in the women's tag team matches as well, just to make it a little bit easier. Plus, we'll have our guy 24KG in here to talk all things wrestling as we watch the final Raw tonight on Netflix, live from Sacramento. And WrestleMania coming up this weekend. Plenty of wrestling talk coming up for the rest of the week. Thank you guys for joining us. Join us here 7 to 9 a.m. Until then, Sparky, let's get out of here.